A black screen with the Binclusive logo fades in. The camera zooms in on a world globe and transitions to a close-up of a map.
Hello, I am Atakan. I am blind product developer and the co-founder of Binclusive.
A young man in his 20s, with light brown hair, wearing a white shirt and holding a cane, walks across a grassy area.
Before I explain the Binclusive, let's look at what a billion people experience when companies are not inclusive from their perspective.
Hello, I am Utku, and I'm a visually impaired person.
Another young man in his 20s, with long black hair and fair skin, also with a cane, is talking in a cafe.
I'm providing accessibility consultancy for many organizations. Many of the apps that I use in my daily life, such as shopping apps or cooking apps,
He is trying a cooking app on his phone.
are not accessible enough. And as someone working in the field, as I can say that if brands were more inclusive, they could reach a much larger audience, including myself as well. Like everyone else, I consume content, I engage with some posts and many other visual content as well.
Utku and another young man in white t-shirts are seated, looking at a computer screen, with the man in the white t-shirt while turning towards Utku. He is saying something while looking at the screen.
So if audio descriptions is missing or there are some silent screens, I feel left out and unable to follow. This causes some kind of exclusion feeling. And I believe that inclusivity is not a difficult thing. There are some simple solutions around us.
Utku put his phone on the table with a dissatisfied expression.
Hi, I am Mina. I'm a visually impaired person.
A young woman in her 20s with glasses and a short haircut sits at a computer with coffee in front of her.
I'm working as a software test engineer. Life shouldn't be this difficult for anyone. The standards of accessibility are very clearly defined. When I test some applications, I use Binclusive so I can focus on the testing side more than the accessibility side.
She scrutinizes her computer screen, typing lines of code.
You don't have to worry about accessibility anymore. Binclusive make the process so easy for me. I didn't expect that process is so easy with Binclusive.
For the past 10 years, I have been worked to be inclusive for organizations and companies. I provided accessibility consultancy to governments, corporate companies, and different organizations.
Atakan sits at his computer, actively writing code and conducting accessibility tests on the website.
Also, I worked in different companies to develop technologies for disabled people. When companies are not accessible, they lose the potential 1 billion disabled people and their friends and families. For that reason, to solve this issue and remove the barrier, we developed Binclusive. Binclusive guides step by step to make accessible their digital assets,
Atakan sits at a table, discussing Binclusive.
software and content without requirement any technical knowledge. They're making accessible their websites, mobile applications, and content. Binclusive integrates your source code and uses machine learning algorithm detect accessibility issues.
The Binclusive App Studio screen displays accessibility scores and detailed information about accessibility issues. Detailed information about the issues and how to resolve them is shown on the screen.
Allowing to resolve accessibility issues in our interface. Everyone can resolve accessibility issues. Product managers, product designers, UX researcher, etc. Everyone can create alternative formats.
A woman working at her computer is creating content with the assistance of Binclusive Content Studio.
For their contents, upload documents and select accessibility type of documents, audio descriptions, subtitles, sign language, simplified versions, etc. If you prefer, Binclusive can handle entire process for you with professional editors. In the world, brands need to be inclusive and sustainable in order to create more loyal customers
Atakan walks along a tree-lined path with his cane.
and have a unique story. To achieve sustainability goals, brands must to be accessible to comply regulations such as European Disability Act, American Disability Act, and more. making your digital assets inclusive with Binclusive, you can protect yourself from regulations,
The woman is engaged in video editing.
reach over 1 billion people
Utku and his companion are watching an accessible version of a video.
compared to your competitors, and tell a unique brand story. Today, sign up Binclusive, start creating accessible digital assets for your companies and organizations.
The Binclusive website appears on the screen.
Let's create an inclusive world together.
The world map zooms out, reverting to a globe. The Binclusive logo reappears on the screen.